Hello, friends. Oh, look, there's Finster. This is Dave Hurwitz with Finster, I think. Yes, Finster. Oh, we'll do this together, shall we, dear? Yeah, it's always fun to trash something with friends and pets. Pets help when you're clobbering something. I don't want to trash it. I didn't mean to, but, well, you asked me to review the Andris Nelson's Mendelssohn box. Yeah, that's it. Cats are nearsighted. Is that better? You can see it better? Okay. Yeah, and you get both oratorios, Paulus and Elias, in German, without texts. It's handy, isn't it? And the 5 symphonies. These were recorded between 2021 and 2024, I think. So they've been kicking around for a bit. And I think I can describe this set in 2 words: schizophrenic mediocrity. In other words, it's very fast and very slow and thoroughly mediocre, no matter which. That's about where we are. You're going to take a nap? Yeah, I don't blame you. I really don't blame her. So let's get into the details, right? We got to get into the weeds. And I do have some comparisons here because we have to be very direct and factual about what's going on. Because this is the Gewandhaus Orchestra. It's Mendelssohn's hometown team. Not that there are any members in the Gewandhaus today who are playing under Mendelssohn, needless to say. But, they probably play this music more than any single band. They could probably play it better without him. They know the music cold. And so we're looking for things where he does stuff, and where the stuff that he does not help the music. And that happens rather frequently, actually. And for comparison, we have the other Gewandhaus with Court Mazur, a set which is, I wouldn't call it a reference, but it's very, very well known. Mazur was never anyone's idea of the most exciting guy in town, but that makes the comparison all the more useful in some respects. We have Klaus-Peter Flor, who is a tremendous Mendelssohn conductor, with a really fine cycle with Bamberg on RCA. We have Abbado sitting over there. We have Dohnanyi sitting over here. We've got tons of Mendelssohn. So, not to worry for comparisons. And let's begin with the symphonies, shall we? Symphony number 1 in C minor, a wonderful symphony, doesn't get played as often as it should. It's so much fun. And this is a good performance of it, but we notice an issue right away with the engineering, with the sonics, and partly with Nelson's. It's the responsibility for this is evenly divided. The climaxes, the loud moments, the tutti are clogged. The balances tend to go. I don't know why that happens, but it does. And the result of that is, for example, he uses timpani with hard sticks, sort of period instrumenting, and the timpanist goes crazy and he drowns people out regularly. You get that sense of it. And Nelson's doesn't do anything to keep everything properly audible when the music gets loud, which is a problem. And one big example is the very end of the First Symphony, because the finale is based on the finale of Mozart's famous G minor symphony, number 40. You can compare the 2 finales. It's really fun. But at the very end, and Mozart stays in the minor key up to the end, Mendelssohn switches to C major in this case, and everything goes nuts. It's supposed to just go crazy. The music's going chunk, 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 and then bam, but the fanfares and craziness and all that. It should be thrilling. For some reason, it never takes off here. Everybody else gets it right. I mean, it's almost impossible not to get it right. You just go crazy, but you keep the instruments in balance. The strings are going like that, and the trumpets and drums are going tap 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 tap. It's not hard, but it doesn't culminate, and that's something that happens throughout this cycle. It never culminates. Symphony number 2, the Lobgesang. Ooh, this is disaster. Absolute disaster. Now, Nelson's is not terrible when he's accompanying. The soloists are okay. The fact that there's a choir the choir, I guess, is a good one. It's what is it, an MDR or something like? Yeah, the MDR radio choir. Very good group. But they sound rather mushy and indistinct, partly because of the balance issues. But more than that, The first three instrumental movements are just terrible, especially the scherzo and the andante. Now, the scherzo's marked allegretto ma poco agitato, a little agitated. And it's supposed to it's almost a waltz. It's supposed to have gracefulness. Ya da da, ya da da, da da da, ya da da, da da da, da 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 da. But it's got to have that fluidity. This is the slowest performance I've ever heard. He takes over 8 minutes, which is just sick. I mean, crazy. Court Mazur here takes about 5. Dochnani takes a little more than 5. Klaus Peter Flor, maybe 6. Abato goes up to 7. I mean, okay. They all can get away with it, but 8.5 minutes? It's just leaden. And then the Andante Religioso, the next movement, it's a dirge. He takes 8 minutes and 39 seconds or thereabouts, almost 9 minutes. It's atrocious. If you think Mendelssohn is a bunch of sort of triacly Victorian slop, this performance is for you. It's not supposed to be an adagio. You know how long Court Mazur takes with it? 4.5 minutes. Twice the tempo. Now, you may argue that Mazur is too fast. Most other performances run around 6 or 7 minutes, maybe as much as 8, possibly. A couple do that, but they get it without making it sound awful. It's the only word for it. This is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. And it leads me to ask the question, how well does he know this music? I mean, really, how well does he know it? The Gewandhaus could play this without him better. I mean, there's no question about that. So what is he doing? That's the slow part of the schizophrenic business. There are others, but that's the main one. Now, the third symphony, the Scottish. The first movement is heavy. It's turgid. It's too thick and very undramatic. And again suffers from that sort of compacted, gluey sonics, which don't help it at all. But then we get to the scherzo, and the Gewandhaus does its thing. It's gorgeous, with a fabulous clarinet solo, beautiful woodwinds all throughout, lovely. It's nicely articulated. The tempo is fine. It's all in place. It's great. So what happened with the rest of it? I mean, the slow movement's okay. It gets through it. And the finale, he wants it to be really guerrerico. It's warrior-like. It's fine as far as it goes. But then we get to the coda. Well, the coda is supposed to be grand and glorious, and it is grand and glorious, except where it's supposed to be, which is at the very end. It's another one of those bits where he misfires. He misjudges where the climax is. And the orchestra, which is playing its heart out for him, he lets them culminate about, a page or so before the actual ending of the symphony, which makes the whole thing sound very ineffectual. It really is. Now, the Italian symphony. The Italian symphony is the other side of his schizophrenic attitude. The outer movements are vicious, absolutely vicious, really fast and loud, and he wants to be, sort of periody crazy. Well, if you want periody crazy, get Thomas Fye with the Heidelberg Symphony on Hensler, which is even more periody crazy, and it works because, for two reasons, it's even more rhythmic and more precise than these guys, and Fye knows how to phrase. He knows how to phrase the opening melody of the Italian symphony. When you play it quicker, it should sound more connected, right? It's in little phrases, that melody. Da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da, da-da-dum, ba-da-da, da-da, 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 da-da. It's one big melody, but it's in little sniglets. Well, here, it sounds awful because despite the wonderful opening, I was so up for it. Plonked with the woodwinds beautifully tonguing their repeated notes. It was lovely. But then the tune comes in, and Nelson's does his thing to it. Da-da, ba-da, ba-da, da-da, ba-da. He cuts it off at every little phrase, and it sounds so choppy. and unsatisfying. I mean, it's just this beautiful lyrical outpouring of sunny melody, and no, absolutely not. The inner movements are okay. He gets through them decently. The finale, well, it's the saltarello, and he wants to show it off how rhythmic and fast they can play it. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-dum. Once again, you've got the timpanist who's going crazy all over the place. And besides that, they tend to not maintain the energy level throughout the entire movement, as Thomas Fye does, for example, with the Heidelberg Symphony. It wound up being somewhat disappointing. Now we get to the Reformation. The Reformation is, it's probably one of the better performances of the set. I mean, he does the chorales okay. He doesn't indulge in any ridiculous tempi. The scherzo does sound a bit like "Oh My Darling Clementine." It's da 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 dum bum ba da dum bum ba da 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 da, right? Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. Yes, exactly. Most people take it a little quicker, which makes it less Clementine-ish. Da 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 dum bum ba da dum bum ba da 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 da. It works a little better, a little bit more lightness. But otherwise, it's okay. But it's not remarkable in any way whatsoever. So that's the symphonies, all right. And you can, if you can stream these things, you can make these comparisons for yourself. And I assure you, everything that I tell you is factually accurate. It is not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of fact, audible fact. So that's that. Now the oratorios. Well, we can dispense with them very quickly because they're both boring. They're not boring because, there's an argument about Paulus. Some people would say it's sort of boring. I actually have grown to like it over the years. But the point is that there's some really good singing here. I have to give credit, where credit is due. Some of these soloists are excellent in these performances, and Nelson's doesn't help them. That's what's so unfortunate, actually. Let's take a peek here. We've got, let's see, in Paulus, let's see. Oh, yes, Werner Gura, tenor, is quite good as everybody. He's Stephan and Barnabas and Ananias, and Paulus is Georg Zeppenfeld. There are beautiful scenes. The conversion on the road to Damascus is nicely done. It's okay, but that problem with the chorus is still there, that they're somewhat murky. And the piece itself, of course, needs to be kept moving more than it moves here. Now, in Elijah, we have, let's see, who have we got for Elijah? We've got Werner Gura's here again. Andre Schoen, baritone. He's terrific. He's a wonderful proclamatory Elijah. I like the way he sounds. And he really rips out those German words. But whoa, is his performance a bore. My goodness. If you want an exciting Elijah, which you do, believe me, get the old Frubeck de Burgos or listen to Paul Daniel with Bryn Terfel, who's just amazing. And they adopt a whole sort of period instrument approach, which in that case simply means lightness, drama, excitement. The overture leading up to the Veillance, chorus of misery, or Horons, or we're miserable, God, do something about it. That chorus. It's so heavy-handed and flat. The contest with the priest of Baal. The priest of Baal, that's supposed to be thrilling, and it just lays there. There's nothing going on. The end of part one, when the rains finally come, it's like, who cares? It's a spring shower. And then we've got, Jezebel in part two. No, it's for all the effort that these singers make, and they do, they are let down, I think, by Nelson's and his just flabby, uninteresting accompaniments. I can't believe that he feels this music very strongly. I could be wrong. He might feel it tremendously. But in that case, it's a question of his ability to project his feelings for the music, which is obviously not operating at full bore. So this, like I said, it has its outstanding moments, but outstanding in a way that they stand out. Not that they're good. They just stick out like sore thumbs. And the rest of it is absolutely not special. Gewandhaus be damned. Yeah. So there you go. And so I don't want to hear that the orchestra loves him and that he's a wonderful guy and that he's terrific and that, everybody's out to get him and, or that I have an issue. I don't have an issue. I have an issue with bad Mendelssohn. I have an issue with, recordings that are not technically up to snuff. And most of all, I have an issue with a record label that doesn't seem to have a brain when they decided to have this guy do Bruckner and Mendelssohn and Beethoven and Shostakovich without any sense that he was capable of doing all of that and doing it all at a very high level. I mean, this guy is the face of Deutsche Grammophon, a record label with that legacy. It's sad. It's really sad. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.